Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those who are attending in online. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those who are attending in online. Am I audible, guys? Please confirm to me. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those who are attending in online. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those who are attending in online. All right. Good afternoon, guys. All right, sir. And check it what we completed in the last session. And before that, today, what was the schedule for us now? Today, then 3 to 4:30. After that, 4:30 to 6 also. Today we have to attend the session. All right. In the last class, what we completed there, the points now. Just we started our discussion right from what there pointers. That fourth point onwards we started there. Pointers are existed in C and C++, but pointers are not existed in Java. That is first point. Pointer is a variable. It is able to store address locations of the data structures, where the data structures may be a variable, an array, a structure, or another pointer variable. In general, pointer variables are recognized and initialized by the compiler at the time of compilation. Why pointer variables are not required in Java? Why are pointer variables not required in Java? Pointer variables require static memory allocation, but Java is following dynamic memory allocation. Pointer variables are supported by the static programming languages, but Java is a dynamic programming language. Pointer variables are very much suitable in the platform dependent programming languages, but Java is a platform independent programming language. Pointer variables are a bit confusion oriented feature, but Java is a simple programming language. It must not allow the confusion oriented features. Pointers will reduce security to the applications, but Java is a very good secure programming language. It must provide very good security for the data. 1 minute. All right, sir. Then after that, what are the differences between pointer variables and reference variables? That's the question here we are having. Where answer is very clear. Pointer variables exist in C and C++, whereas reference variables exist in Java. Pointer variables are recognized and initialized at the time of compilation, whereas reference variables are recognized and initialized at runtime. Pointer variables are able to refer to a block of memory by storing address locations of the data, whereas reference variables are able to refer a block of memory that an object block of memory that is an object by storing object reference variable by storing object reference value, where the object reference value is the hexadecimal form of the hash code, where hash code is an unique identity for each and every object provided by the heap manager in the form of an integer value. There we are getting some data. This is about like what is the total content here. Diagrammatically, I explained to you what exactly the meaning of pointer variable and what is the meaning of reference variable there now. That's it. Then after that we started with another point here. What about this fifth point here? C and C++ are following both the call by value and call by reference parameter passing mechanism, but Java is following call by value parameter passing mechanism. In all programming languages, if you pass primitive data, byte, short, int, long, float, double, boolean, char as parameters to the functions or methods, then the parameter passing mechanism is call by value. In C, C++, Java, call by value is possible. In all programming languages, the default mechanism is what there, call by value. There we can see this. But in any programming language, if you pass address locations as parameters to the methods or functions, then the parameter passing mechanism is called by reference parameter passing mechanism. In C, C++, if you pass pointer variables as parameters to the methods, that is address locations we are passing as parameter to the methods, then the parameter passing mechanism is what there, called by reference. It is supported inside the C, C++. But in the case of Java, in Java, if you pass object reference variable as a parameter to the methods, then the parameter passing mechanism is call by value only, but not call by reference. Why? Because in Java, object reference variable is able to manage object reference value. Where the object reference value is a hexadecimal form of the hash code. Where the hash code value is an unique identity provided by the heap manager in the form of an integer value for each and every object. So these are overall the points here what we are getting clearly. Got it or not? Right, sir? Leave this one after this, after completion of this. Now the sixth difference here we are going to understand the sixth difference here. Multiple inheritance is not possible. Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. Of course, it is possible in C++ and Python also, but that mechanisms are too much. Internal concepts we have to understand there, too much depth we have to understand, but not required. Just here we have to understand why multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. Up to that only we are going to concentrate. Let's move on to the point here first of all. What is multiple inheritance first? From where this multiple inheritance, that feature is coming into the picture? What exactly the meaning of multiple inheritance? That's the question now. All right, sir. Now, understand the point here. Observe carefully. Java is an object-oriented programming language. Am I right or not? Java is what there? An object-oriented programming language. Good. How can you say that Java is an object-oriented programming language? How it is possible to say that Java is an object-oriented programming language? Now the point is, if any programming language, if any programming language represents data in the form of objects, if any programming language represents data in the form of objects by following object oriented features, then that programming language is called an object oriented programming language. It's called as what there? An object oriented programming language. All right, sir. Come again. What's the point I said to you? When a programming language is an object oriented programming language, if any programming language represents data in the form of objects, data is totally represented in the form of objects. What is an object? Object is a block of memory where some rules and regulations are available to represent the data. So if any programming language represents the data in the form of objects by following object oriented features, then the programming language is called an object oriented programming language. That is the point here we have to understand. All right, sir. It's okay, fine. Next one is how many object-oriented features are available? What exactly the object-oriented features that we are having actually? If you come for this point, answer is very clear. There are 7 object-oriented features. What are the 7 object-oriented features now? First one is class. Next one is what there? Object. Next one is encapsulation. Next one is what there? Abstraction. After this, inheritance. After this inheritance, the next one is polymorphism. After this polymorphism, next one is what there? Message passing. Overall, these are the 7 number of object-oriented features here we are having. First one is what there? Now observe carefully. Class, object, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, message passing. These are overall object-oriented features. 7 number of object-oriented features. By following these object-oriented features only, if it represents the data in the form of objects, then that programming language is called an object-oriented programming language. Sir, all of you get my point or not? That's okay, fine. Now observe carefully. Another point here I'm telling to you. Out of all these object-oriented programming, out of all these object-oriented features, here, what are my required points actually? If you observe this, my required point is what there? Inheritance. Why I need inheritance now? Our actual point is what? Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. To demonstrate multiple inheritance is not possible in Java, first we have to understand what is an inheritance. What exactly the meaning of inheritance? That point here we have to understand. Now let's see this one here. Now the point is what there? Inheritance. What is the meaning of inheritance? Inheritance. Right. Observe carefully. One more point now. In object orientation, programming we are going to provide in the form of classes only. In object orientation, we are going to prepare the programs in the form of what their classes only. Say for example, class employee. Similarly, class student. Say for example, class product. Like this, here we are able to take number of classes. Got it or not? Now, what is an inheritance? If you observe this, it is a relation between classes. In programming, we are able to have classes like this. At each and every class, we are going to write like what the number of variables, number of methods. At each and every class, we are able to have what the number of variables and number of methods. Okay, that variables and methods we are having inside the classes now. But what is in inheritance? What exactly the meaning of inheritance? If you observe this, it is a relation between classes. Okay, what it will do? It is a relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from one class to the another class. It will provide variables and methods from one class to the another class. This is the meaning of like what there? Inheritance. Come again. What is the meaning of inheritance? No, it is a relation between classes. It is a relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from one class to another class. Simple. Next, I'm giving definition. One more definition. Try to understand it clearly. In the inheritance, the class which is providing variable and methods, the class which is providing variables and methods is called a superclass or a base class or a parent class. These many names are available. All of you observe carefully. What's the point here I'm telling there? In inheritance, the class which is providing variables and methods is called a superclass are a base class or a parent class. Out of all the three names, superclass is the right name. Superclass is the right terminology. Superclass is what there is the right terminology. Understand the point clearly? What I'm telling you. All right. Similarly, anyway, these things are not required. Just understanding purpose I've written it. Next one is in inheritance. In inheritance, the class which is getting variables and methods from a superclass is called a subclass. If we use a terminology base class, a derived class. If we use a terminology parent class, a child class. In inheritance, the class which is getting variables and methods from a superclass is called a subclass or a derived class or a child class. These many things are existed. Come again, what exactly the definitions I'm telling to you? Try to understand these definitions now. Directly we are going to use these definitions in inheritance. In object orientation, we are going to talk more, but here this is the foundation, basic information I'm giving there. Try to remember these definitions. It is a relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from one class to another class. In inheritance, the class which is providing variables and methods is called a superclass or a base class or a parent class. In inheritance, the class which is getting variables and methods from a superclass is called a subclass or a derived class or a child class. Got it or not? This is clearly the point here we need to understand. These are the 3 points. Okay, fine. Next one is what? After this, after completion of this inheritance points here, after understanding these points, no? How many types of inheritances are available? Initially, in object orientation, initially, there are two types of inheritances. Initially, just two types of inheritances. What are the two types of inheritances initially? First one is the single inheritance. First one is what there? Single inheritance. The second one is what there? Multiple inheritance. Second one is what there? Multiple inheritance. Later on the basis of the above two types of the inheritances, on the basis of the above two types of inheritances, there are three more inheritances. On the basis of the above two types of inheritances, there are three more inheritances. What are the three more inheritances here we are getting there? Understand it clearly. First one is multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance. Next one is hierarchical inheritance. After this, hybrid inheritance. Overall, three types of inheritances are available. What are the three types of inheritances? No, first one is what there? Multi-level inheritance. Next one is what there? Hierarchical inheritance. After that, hybrid inheritance. These are overall three types of inheritances here we are having. Okay, fine. On the basis of the above two types of inheritances, there are three more inheritances: multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, and hybrid inheritance. Overall, three types of inheritances are available. See, then even though these many types are available, overall 5 types are available. But as of now, I required what is single inheritance, what is multiple inheritance, why multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. That's my question. But remaining all the types are not required. Just names I given list of these inheritances. But actually my requirement is what? What is single inheritance? What is multiple inheritance? Why multiple inheritance is not possible inside the Java? Only these points here we have to understand. Now let us understand the single inheritance first. What is single inheritance? What is the meaning of single inheritance? First of all, tell me, what is inheritance actually? It's a relation between classes. What it will provide? It will provide variables and methods from one class to another class. That is called as what their inheritance. Nice. What is single inheritance actually? It is a relation between classes. It is a relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from only one superclass to one or more subclasses. It is a relation between classes. In general, inheritance is a relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from one class to another class. That means one class to another class in the sense one class is what their superclass, another class is what their subclass. If we are getting variables and methods from only one superclass to one or more number of subclasses, we don't have any condition. We have condition on only what their number of superclasses. Then this type of inheritance is called what? Single inheritance. Alright, sir. Good. That is the relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from only one superclass to one or more subclasses. This is the point here we have to understand. Next one is after that, after completion of this, Java does support single inheritance. Java is supporting what their single inheritance. How sir? How can we represent in the form of a diagram actually? If you observe this diagrammatic representation, understand this. All of you observe carefully. For example, now this is like what I'm telling now, class K. This I want to make it is super class K. Now here, for example, I'm going to take int I is equal to 10, void m1 method, some implementation, just close option here. It's okay. This is superclass K. I want to take another subclass. This is class B. This is what there, class B. Here what we are having there, class B extends. Now here, inside this class B, what we are able to get there, I can use variables and methods of the superclass. I variable defined or declared in a superclass K that I can access inside what their subclass. I is equal to I plus 10. Next one is what their M1 method call. Next one is what their M1 method call. This is like what I'm telling there, method call, M1 method call. That means method is defined in superclass that we access it inside like what their subclass B. This is a clear-cut information here we can identify. Now tell me, how many superclass I have taken here? Only one superclass. How many subclass I have taken? One or more. Any number of subclass we can take. Not only this one, another subclass also here we can take. Right. This is the point here we have to understand. This is about what their single inheritance. Leave it. After that, what is multiple inheritance? The similar definition here I am telling to you. Observe carefully. Everybody understand it now? It is a relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from more than one superclass to, what is this? From more than one superclass to one or more subclasses. In the case of single inheritance, how many superclasses are available? Exactly one. But in the case of multiple inheritances, how many superclasses here we have to provide? More than one superclass. It is not like exactly one superclass, more than one superclass. More than one superclass to one or more subclasses. Now, Java does not support multiple inheritance. Java does not support what there? Multiple inheritance. Okay, why it is not supported multiple inheritance, that we will understand. But first of all, we need to understand the definition of what there? Multiple inheritance. It is the relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from more than one superclass to one or more subclasses. Now let us understand this one clearly. Diagram here I am going to provide about this multiple inheritance. This is class A. This is a class B. Now this is subclass. This is class A. This is class B. This is a class C. Like this. Here we have taken inheritance relationship. Now just we can understand extends. Altogether, what is the class now? Class C extends A comma B. Class C extends A comma B. Now inside this class A, int I is equal to 10. Void M1 method. Here X implementation closing M1 method. Similarly, the same type of things here we are going to provide inside what there class B. But inside this class B, we are having what there J 20 void M2 method. Here we are having what there Y implementation. Now tell me, what is the rule here? Whatever the variables and methods that we declared in super classes, the same variables and methods that we can access inside this subclass. Whatever the variables and methods we declared in superclasses, same variables and methods that we can access inside the subclass. Subclass has the rights to access superclass members. Why? Because it's a child class for the parents. Now we can understand it. I is equal to I plus 10 semicolon. J is equal to J plus 10. M1 method call, and here we can provide what there M2 method call. Both are available. I is equal to I plus 10, J is equal to J plus 10. M1 method call and M2 method call. Got it or not? Right, sir. This is multiple inheritance. Up to this, okay, we are not having any problem. Easily we can understand it. But here my question is, this multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. This multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. Why it is not possible in Java? Right, I'm going to prepare the same type of diagram once again, try to understand it clearly. For example, this is superclass K, superclass B. Here we are able to take like what there subclass. Class A, class B, class C, now okay, we are able to provide like what there class A. Now what is the relationship here? What we are understanding there? Class C extends A comma B. Class C extends A comma B. Observe carefully. Now I'm going to provide int I is equal to 10 void m1 method. Here we are having x implementation. Observe carefully. When compared with the previous diagram, the same data I provided in class A. In the previous diagram in class B, what I provided, different variables and different method I've taken. But now, for the discussion point of view, I'm going to take same variable, but value is different. Same method, but implementation part is different. How many super classes can I have taken? 2 super classes. In both the super classes, variable names are same, but methods are different. Implementations are different. For I variable in class A super class 10, for I variable in class B super class 20. M1 method implementation is what there, X implementation. M1 method implementation is what there, Y implementation. When it comes to the subclass has the rights to access these variables and methods. I is equal to I plus 10 semicolon. Alright, that I provided. Next one is what there, M1 method call we provided. I is equal to I plus 10. Now this is what there, M1 method call that we provided. But here my question is what there inside this. When I perform I is equal to I plus 10, JVM will search for I variable in the current class C, but it is not available actually. So it has to get the I variable value from the super classes. It has to get I variable value from what there? From the super classes. From which super class the I variable value must be taken? From which super class the I value is coming? If we take I value is coming from class A super class, I is equal to I plus 10, I is equal to 10 plus 10, 20. Is it 20? If we take I value from B superclass 20, I is equal to I plus 10, I is equal to 20 plus 10, is it 30? If we take M1 method, similarly M1 method, first JVM will search for M1 method in the current class C, but it is not available. Now, is that M1 method is coming from class A superclass? If we take this M1 method from class A superclass, where what implementation is available? X implementation. Is it X implementation? If we think M1 method is coming from class B superclass, their Y implementation is available for M1 method. Is it Y implementation? Now again my question is, from which superclasses that variable and methods are coming to the class C subclass? From which superclass this variable and methods are coming to the class C? That is my question. Exactly. This is what a confusion. This is what an ambiguity situation is, a confusion situation. Now multiple inheritance is providing what? Confusion. Multiple inheritance is providing what? Confusion to the developers. Now here we are unable to identify from which superclass this variable is coming, from which superclass this method is coming. It's a confusion state for us. But Java is a simple programming language. It must not allow confusion oriented features. But here multiple inheritance is providing confusion. Got it or not? So because of that reason only, because of this reason, Java, to avoid these confusion oriented features, to make Java is a simple programming language, Java has removed totally multiple inheritance from its programming. Because of this third case, the second case is also be disabled inside the Java. Because of the third case, the second case is also be disabled. With the second case, we don't have any problem. But because of removing multiple inheritance in Java, the second case and third case both are going to be removed. Both are going to be avoided now. So multiple inheritance is not available inside the Java because of its confusion orientation. Right. Observe carefully. What's the point here I'm telling you? All right. Now see this one. The same thing I want to represent here in the form of this context now. That means text data. In the above multiple inheritance, in the above multiple inheritance, in the above multiple inheritance, if we provide the same variable with different values, Same variable with the different values, and the same method with the different implementations at both the superclasses. At both the superclasses. And if you access that variable and method in a subclass, then from which superclass? Then from which superclass that variable and method are coming is a confusion stage. In the above multiple index, if we provide the same variable with the different values and the same method with the different implementations at both the superclasses, and if we access that variable and method in the subclass, then from which superclass that variable and method are coming is a confusion state. But Java is a simple programming language. But Java is what there? Java is a simple programming language. It must not allow all the confusion oriented features. It must not allow all the confusion oriented features. So multiple inheritance is not allowed in the Java applications. So multiple inheritance is not allowed in the Java applications. Right, so the same diagram here I want to provide here. Now understand, this is the diagram, no? But in this overall diagram here, what I am telling to you, this is possible in Java. This is not possible in Java. Again, this is also be not possible in Java. Conceptually is okay. Conceptually we understood. Even diagrammatically also we understood. Clear. Diagram I have given, concept also I have given there. Because of this confusion state only, the total multiple inheritance was okay, fine. But how Java has restricted this multiple inheritance in Java applications? In the programming part, how it is able to disable, how it is able to restrict multiple inheritance? What approach it has followed internally? Right. If you observe this point here, I'm giving clarity to you. To restrict multiple inheritance, Java has defined extends keywords. Java has defined extends keywords in such a way that to allow only one superclass name, not to allow more than one superclass name. To restrict multiple inheritance, Java has defined extends keyword in such a way that to allow only one superclass name, not to allow more than one superclass name. Examples here I am telling to you, observe carefully. Class A I have taken, okay, fine, directly here I am telling to you. This is class A, extends B is valid. One superclass name is valid. Class A is what their subclass, B is what their superclass name, that is valid. For example, class A extends B comma C. Extends B comma C. This is what they are invalid. Class A extends B valid. Class A extends B comma C. Whenever we are putting comma, when we provide this comma here, when we provide comma, that's enough. Automatically there we are able to get compilation error. There automatically we are able to get what their compilation error. That's it. Class A extends B comma C. This is what they're invalid. That's it. Now these are the points here we have to understand about like what their multiple inheritance, then why it is not possible in the case of Java. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? See this total content here once again. No, whatever the points here I explained to you about this inheritance. Now try to understand it. What is our title actually? Now tell me. Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. First of all, what I have given there, what is an object-oriented programming language? That point I have given. If any programming language allows to represent data in the form of objects, then that programming language is what? Object-oriented programming language. Where to represent data in the form of objects, we have to follow a set of features called object-oriented features. What are the various object-oriented features here we are having there? 7 features now. Class, object, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, message passing. After this, what is inheritance? This is a point here. It's a relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from one class to the another class. In inheritance, the class which is providing variables and methods is called a superclass or a base class or a parent class. Next one is what there. In inheritance, the class which is getting variables and methods from a superclass is called subclass, a derived class, or a child class. Initially, there are two types of inheritances, single inheritance, and second one is what there, multiple inheritance. Next one is, on the basis of the above two types of inheritances, there are three more inheritances. What are the three more inheritances? Can you know? It's multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, and hybrid inheritance. Understand it clearly. Next one is, what is single inheritance? It's the relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from only one superclass to one or more subclasses. Java does support single inheritance. Multiple inheritance. What is the meaning of this multiple inheritance now? It's a relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from more than one superclass to one or more subclasses. Java does not support what their multiple inheritances. Now the next point here. In the above multiple inheritance, if we provide the same variable with the different values and the same method with the different implementations at both the superclasses, and if we access that variable and method in the subclass, then from which superclasses that variable and methods are coming is a confusion state now. But Java is a simple programming language. It must not allow the confusion-oriented features. So multiple inheritance is not allowed in the Java applications. That's okay, fine. To restrict multiple inheritance, Java has defined extends keyword in such a way that to allow only one superclass name, not to allow more than one superclass name. Then immediately I've given some points here. Class A extends be valid. Class A extends B comma C. This is what they're invalid. After this, I've given the same thing in a form of what there a diagrammatic representation here I've given. Is that clear to all of you know? Right. This is one thing here we can understand. Now the next difference, almost overall 9 differences are available. Out of all these 6 differences here we completed. The next one, seventh one is what there. Observe carefully. Destructors are not destructors are required in C++, but destructors are not required in Java. Destructors are required in C++, but destructors are not required in Java. Right. Now I'm asking one more time the same question. Try to answer for it. Java is an object-oriented programming language or not? Okay. Before the Java, tell me when we are able to say one programming language is an object-oriented programming language. When we are able to say one programming language is an object-oriented programming language. Alright, if any programming language represents the data in the form of objects, if any programming language represents the data in the form of objects, then that programming language is called as what? An object-oriented programming language. Means that, what is the point now? In object-oriented programming languages, it is convention to store data in the form of objects or not? In object-oriented programming languages, it's very convention to store the data in the form of objects or not? Observe carefully. Okay, fine. Observe carefully. In the object-oriented programming languages, in object-oriented programming languages, is a convention to represent data in the form of objects. Okay, that means it is a convention. But the point is, in object-oriented programming languages, If we want to store data in the form of objects, first we have to create objects or not? Understand, sir? First we have to create what there? Objects. First we have to create objects. Am I right or not? First we have to create object. After that only we are going to store data inside the object. After that, at the end of the program, we have to destroy the objects. At the end of the program, we have to destroy the objects. Right. The point is what? In the object-oriented programming languages, to represent data in the form of to represent data in the form of objects, first we have to create the objects. At the end of the program, we must destroy the objects. At starting point of the program, we have to create the objects. At the end of the program, we have to destroy the objects. Everybody understand it clearly. Now, how we are going to create objects and how we are going to destroy the objects in object-oriented programming languages. But more concentration. In the object-oriented programming languages, to create objects, we will use constructors. To create objects, we will use constructors. And to destroy objects, we will use destructors. As I now tell me, in object-oriented programming languages, to create objects, we will use constructors, and to destroy objects, we will use what they're destructors. Observe carefully, we will use what they're destructors. Almost now we are coming to the conclusion. Everybody put more concentration here. In a C++, developers are responsible for creating objects and for destroying objects. Developers are responsible for creating objects and for destroying objects. In a C++, to destroy objects, developers must use. In C++, to destroy objects, developers must use destructors. It is mandatory to use what they are? Destructors. Observe carefully what I am telling now. In C++, developers are responsible for creating objects and for destroying objects. In C++, to destroy objects, developers must use what they are? Destructors. Understand the point clearly, what I am telling you now. Okay, fine. Next one is what? After this, in Java, now I am giving the conclusion. In Java, to destroy objects, Java has provided to destroy objects, there is an internal component inside the Java software called garbage collector. In Java, to destroy the objects, there is an internal component inside the Java software called, what is this one? Garbage collector. In Java, to destroy the objects, internally there is a component garbage collector. Due to the garbage collector inside the Java software, developers are not required to destroy the objects. So developers are not required to use destructors. In Java applications. Yeah, due to this reason, what is the conclusion here? I'm telling the destructors are not required in the case of Java. Has that got my point or not? See, in Java, to destroy the objects, there is a component, there is an internal component, there is a component inside the Java software called garbage collector. Due to the garbage collector inside the Java software, developers are not required to destroy the objects explicitly. Developers are not required to destroy the objects explicitly. So developers are not required to use destructors in Java applications. So due to this reason, destructors feature is not required in Java. Destructors feature is not required inside the Java. That's it, not more than that. So this is the meaning of like what there destructors which are not existed inside the Java. Why sir? Why destructors are not available in Java? To destroy the object, there is a component internally. What component is available internally? Garbage collector component is available. Due to this garbage collector internal component only, developers are not required to destroy the objects. Now tell me sir, because of this reason, I can give one conclusion. Then which programming language is a good programming language? No? By seeing this point here, we can conclude that which programming language is a good programming language? Definitely Java. Java is a good programming language. Why? Because in C++, programming language is not giving any support for destroying the objects, where developers must take the responsibility. But in the case of Java, you are not going to think about how to destroy the objects. Always you have to think about to create the object. Always we are going to think how to keep data inside the object. That's it. We are not going to take any responsibility of destroying the objects. This is exactly the meaning of like what there garbage collector, and it is required in the case of C++ and it is not required in the case of like what there Java. Yes, sir. All of you get my points or not? All right, sir. This is the seventh difference here we understood. And the next one, eighth difference is available. What about this eighth difference here? Observe carefully. Eighth point is understand it now. Right, sir. Operator overloading is not possible in Java, or is not existed in Java. Operator overloading is not existed in Java, or possible or existed. It's okay, fine. Anything here we can identify. Operator overloading is not possible in Java. Right. This is the point here. For this, introduction is very simple. I need to talk a little bit about the previous content. In the case of this multiple inheritance, what exactly the inheritance here I given there, that similar points here I need to talk there. The same, these points are very same up to these points. Up to these points are very same. If any programming language represents data in the form of objects by following object-oriented features, then that programming language is called an object-oriented programming language. There are 7 object-oriented features. What are the 7 object-oriented features now? All right, sir. First one is like what there? Class. And the second one is like what there? Object. Third one is like what there? Encapsulation. Fourth one is what there? Abstraction. Fifth one is what there? Inheritance. And the sixth one is what there? Polymorphism. And the next one is message passing. Now, I required what there? Out of all these things, previously because of multiple inheritance, we understood what there? Inheritance. But now the concept is what there? Operator overloading. To demonstrate this operator overloading, now we required polymorphism. Now the point is what there? Polymorphism. This is what we required clearly. Now understand it. What is polymorphism? What is the meaning of this polymorphism? First of all, the word polymorphism is not an English word. It's a Greek word. The word polymorphism is a Greek word, where poly means many and morphism means structures. Where poly means many and morphism means what their structures or forms. Observe carefully. If one thing exists in more than one form, then it is called polymorphism. If one thing exists in more than one form, then it is called what there? Polymorphism. That's it. Now tell me, what's the meaning of this polymorphism? Polymorphism is a Greek word where poly means many and morphism means structures or forms. If one thing exists in more than one form, then it is called what there? Polymorphism. What is the main advantage of this polymorphism? And before that, in the case of this inheritance, definitions are given there. Okay, now we are given that simple point. Then what is the main advantage of this inheritance actually? The main advantage of the inheritance is code reusability. Is what there? Code reusability. The main advantage of the inheritance is what there? Code reusability. Similarly, what is the main advantage of the polymorphism actually? The main advantage, of the polymorphism is flexibility. Flexibility to design Java applications, to develop Java applications. What is the meaning of this flexible design? Simple point. Tell me, what is polymorphism actually? If one thing exists in more than one form, then it is called what? Polymorphism. See, one thing is in one form, no flexibility. One thing is in multiple forms, we can select either of this form. Get my point? We can select what there? Either of this form. Say for example, vehicle is one of the entity. If a vehicle is available in only bike, for example, at your home vehicle is what there? Bike, only bike. You don't have any other vehicle, only bike. Okay, within the city, if you want to travel, it's okay. You can take it, no problem. But if you want to go for 100 kilometers distance, no, or 150 kilometers distance, if you want to travel there, you want to take that bike, not suggestible. Okay, leave it now. Other case, I'm telling there. In your house, vehicle, if you observe this, bike is available, we have car is available. Of course, we are having some bus also. But we have some bus travel agency. Their bus is also available at your home. Three types of vehicles are available. Bike is available, car is available, bus is also available. Understand it clearly. Within the city, if you want to travel, then we can take what there? Bike. 100 kilometers or 150, 200 kilometers or 500 kilometers if you want to travel there, then we can take what their car. The flexibility, we are having flexibility now. Now we can take what their car. For example, at somewhat long distance, maybe 1000 kilometers you want to travel. Even there also bus is not suggestible. The train may be suggestible, or maybe flight may be suggestible. If you have multiple different things, no, got it or not? So finally, the point is what? If one thing, vehicle is one, but available in multiple forms, flexibility is available. If a vehicle is one, available in only one form, in the sense no flexibility. 200 kilometers if you want to travel, if we take that bike, no, it's somewhat difficult. Of course, finally we will reach our destination, that's okay, but it's somewhat difficult, not possible. So one thing is available in one form, no flexibility. If one thing is available in multiple forms, then there is a flexibility for it. That is what exactly the meaning of this flexibility to design Java applications. Sir, got it or not? Right, sir. How many types of polymorphisms are available here? There are two types of polymorphisms. What are the two types of polymorphisms now? First one is static polymorphism, and the second one is what there? Dynamic polymorphism. Static polymorphism, and the second one is what there? Dynamic polymorphism. First of all, what is static polymorphism? What you are understanding about static polymorphism? Right, sir? Now I need to discuss about the static polymorphism. Do one thing. It's almost 4:25. So take few minutes break and come back now. I'll start that 4:30 class there. This continuation of this topic I will discuss with you on tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to finish the total differences between Java and others. Then immediately I will start Java features topic. Right? Java features, Java naming conventions, Java programming format, that we are going to discuss there continuously at 3 o'clock. And 4:30 today I'm going to show how to install Java software, how to execute Java program. The total process I'm going to show today. So without failure, take few minutes break and come back now. Then I will take what there 4:30 class there. Yes, sir, got it? What I'm telling you now, right? That's it. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yeah, guys, I think so. All of you are getting that link at 4:30. 4:30 class link you are getting there, right? I think all of you are getting that 4:30 class link, right? Guys, no response. You're all getting that 4:30 class link, right? So we can utilize this, right? Now try to use this. Thank you. Thanks a lot.